Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. 6:09, Wednesday, September 14th, 66 degrees, getting up to 89 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are now joined by Robin Campbell. We are talking about kettlebells, health, fitness, all that good stuff. Good morning, Robin. How are you?
I'm good, Jeremy. How are you?
I am fantastic. So why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of what you're all about and what we're going to talk about this morning?
Sure. I am a certified kettlebell instructor and a personal trainer in Monmouth County. And I kind of got to this point in my life a little bit later. I actually had a professional career for 17 years. And I started to get into fitness because I always loved it. And I was a busy professional, and I was in the car for a lot, and my body was hurting from all of that. And I just started to realize how much I like to help people. I do that in my professional life, and then I realized I could do that on a more personal level with people when I train them. So I became certified. I went to school part-time. I obtained a couple of accreditations in some fields, mainly kettlebell. And here I am. Now I train, and I really enjoy working with people to help them on their journey towards fitness and wellness.
Cool. Now, for those that are uninitiated, explain what a kettlebell is.
Sure. So the kettlebell is a tool that you can use. Almost like if you go to the gym, you'll see them a lot. They're kind of a big fad right now. But they're basically a bell with a handle. So what you can do is you can grab the handle, and it's kind of like an offset weight. So a lot of people will use them like dumbbells, but they're really not. So the practice, there's a couple of different methodologies you can use with kettlebells. Mine is called the hard style methodology, and I train under Strong First, which if you go to that website, strongfirst.com, you can learn a lot about it. But it's a simple tool, and there's a lot of different techniques that you use with it to get strong. It's cardio endurance, it's muscle endurance, it's strength. It's all of that in one session, in one tool.
Right. Okay. So we'll get more into that in a minute. But first, I have a couple questions. First of all, what were you doing? What kind of profession were you in? Were you in sales?
So I actually still am in it part-time. So I'm an insurance risk manager.
Okay. And what does that mean? I'm sorry. I'm a little bit slow.
Sure. So not at all. I work with clients to help them assess their risk in the business world, and then I put together insurance programs to protect them.
Gotcha. Okay. And so that's a pretty bold leap to say, you know what, I'm going to kind of put that aside and I'm going to go into fitness and wellness instead because that's where my passion is. I mean, that's it's one thing to do that when you're, coming out of school and you're kind of finding your way, but you weren't at that point in your life, right?
No, absolutely not. I'm actually very established in my career. I've been in it for 17 years. And this journey to fitness has been kind of marrying alongside with it. I actually started going to school part-time a couple of years ago because I'm all about knowledge and learning. And with fitness, I think that a lot of people jump into it, and they jump into it because they like it, which is kind of how I got into it, because I love to work out. I love to feel good about myself. I love to wake up in the morning and stretch and know that my body is capable. I love to be able to climb a mountain and not be winded at the top. So for me, it was kind of organic. I mean, it just grew on me. But a lot of people, when they get into fitness, I think they don't realize that coaching and training is very different from actually training. So if you like fitness, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to translate into you being a good coach. There's a lot of skills that carry and marry over from my current position from one position to the other. meaning that you have to work with people. You have to understand what their goals are. You have to draw that out of them. You have to motivate them. And then you have to help them on their journey towards fitness. And that's something that I just love to do.
Right. Now, do you start by saying, listen, so as a professional insurance risk, person, I can tell you right now, by your current shape and fitness level, I would not insure you. I mean, is that your opening line? Is that how you kind of, how you kind of grab them?
Yeah, and that's why nobody comes to my door. Yeah.
You say, listen, I want to lower your insurance premiums. How do you feel about that?
That's why I hear crickets in my studio.
Oh, so that wouldn't work then. Okay, well, what do I know? What do I know?
Actually, that's one of the hardest things about coaching, Jeremy, and that is helping people who they don't really understand. They know that they want to do something. They're not sure what they want to do, right? They're not really sure how they're going to go about it. They're uncomfortable at first, and that's something that when somebody's first getting into fitness, you have to be empathetic to that. And that's something that a lot of people miss in the industry is that, we're so used to working out. We get up every day and we do it. But when somebody's new to it, you have to be very in tune with that. And so you're working to motivate them and also understand where they're coming from. You have to understand what limitations their body has, and I'm a functional movement specialist, which is very important. So, the first emphasis is always on safety. And it's a slow progression. The kettlebell that I primarily use, but I use other tools too, is there's a learning curve. And so people, when they work with me, they have to go through a kind of a learning curve, and we get to know each other. We have a strategy session, because when people have a goal and they're more specific about that, it's much easier for them to be motivated and to benchmark.
Right. Okay. When we come back, I want to talk about a couple things. Number one, I want to know, there's a discussion about what the appropriate age is to start weight training and end weight training, right? And I also want to talk about how we balance cardio and strength training. Is that okay?
Sure.
Cool. Robin Campbell, we're talking obviously strength conditioning, training, coaching, all that good stuff for you early on a hump day, Wednesday morning, 6:16. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, back after this.
Everything you need to know about the Jersey Shore. This is Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Connect with Jeremy, 732-505-1160. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160, 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. 620, we're talking to Robin Campbell. We're talking about fitness, kettlebells, et cetera, et cetera. So, Robin, first of all, as a trainer, a lot of us, I guess, for parents, the first question is, when do you think it's appropriate to start weight training?
Sure. Well, the ACSM, the American Academy of Sports Medicine, which is where I have my certified personal training, they've come out and said, as long as the children have the emotional maturity to accept and follow directions, there's no reason why they cannot benefit from strength training. So that would be, many 7 and 8 year olds, people that are in or kids that are in organized sports and activities. As long as that strength training there's a difference between strength training and, we're not talking Olympic lifting or power lifting or anything like that. That's basically, a systematic program of exercises that's going to be designed to get them stronger. So I agree with that. In fact, at the gyms where I work, Real Gym in Keyport and Aspire Fitness in Colts Neck, both of them have children-based, adolescent as well as younger kid programs. And the kids have a great time.
Oh, great. Okay. And so what do you think? So let's go to the other end, because there's varying schools of thought around when you should kind of stop weight training. At what age is it appropriate, and should you focus just on cardio, et cetera? Where do you think that happens? Or are you a believer that you kind of should continue your weight training, at different intervals or different levels throughout your life?
Well, I will be weight training until I can't weight train anymore. But I think that with the aging population, it's actually more important that you weight train, because your body actually tends to lose muscle mass after a certain age at a much faster rate. And you can circumvent that, and you can't prevent it, but you can really slow it down through appropriate weight training. So as long as you're capable of doing the simple motions and you're in good health, then I would say weight train. I had a 74-year-old in my kettlebell class at one point.
Wow. And so what do you think is how do you find the balance between weights and and kind of cardio? Because I think you'll find a lot of people that are only cardio people, and then there's people that are only weight people, and then you have people that do both. And I'm sure I know what your answer is going to be, but what do you think?
Well, you know what? It's funny. I actually used to be the cardio only person when I was growing up in my 20s. So my background is running, and I used to do that, and I was a twig, really. And it wasn't until I started working with one of my mentors at Real Gym that I said, oh, strength training, what's this? This is new. And I fell in love with it because it really balanced my body. But to further answer your question, Jeremy, it really depends on what that person's goal is. So, you have people that love to do cardio, and then you hear these things like, well, you can't do cardio before strength because you won't get the strength benefits, et cetera, et cetera. It really depends. I have a client that she loves to run, but she wants to get stronger. So to get her motivated, she runs 2 miles before we work out. There's no problem with that, because she wants to get reasonably strong and she wants to be motivated. And I am in tune to what helps motivate her. So it's about getting her to get the most benefit. So I see no problem with marrying that. And in fact, the kettlebell marries both cardio endurance, power, and muscle endurance and strength. And you can do that in one workout in 15 to 25 minutes.
Right. Well, now, Robin, I have to be honest with you. I picture, for
No, lie to me, Jeremy.
Oh, no, I had been earlier, but now I'm going to be honest. That's my line, by the way. I usually say that to people when they say, I want to be honest with you. No, I want to be honest with you because I am actually being honest about this, because when I say that, it's typically setting myself up for saying something that's going to be completely out of line. So here we go. When I look at your picture, I say, wait, you don't look like a woman who does a ton of weight training. Like aren't you supposed to be super muscular and super bulky? I don't get it.
I don't know, which picture are you looking at?
No, I mean, I wouldn't look at you and say that's someone that does a ton of weight training. But I think what I'm getting at is I think that there's a stigma on some level attached to weight training.
There is, and there's a common stigma with women, right? Weight training that we get, that they don't want to bulk up.
Right.
I don't want to do weight, so I'm going to do, 2-pound weights, and I'm going to do 20 reps of them. And that's kind of an old methodology that's carried through, and that really isn't founded. Women just don't have the testosterone in their body to build that kind of muscle. At most, there are, and believe me, there are some people that are genetically just predestined to pop a bicep muscle when they do one curl. I have a friend like that, and I'm just completely envious of her. But women in general, they're just not going to see that type of muscle mass. And for me, being strong doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be bulky. It means that what does strength mean to you? And that, again, goes back to the goal-based training. For some people, it means being able to carry all of their groceries in from the car in one shot. For others, it could be being able to do 5 pull-ups. Right? So it really depends on what their goal is and getting stronger. When you benchmark that and see where you were and where you've come, it's really exciting to see people on that journey. And I have some people in my kettlebell class now. Actually, Monday I got really excited because I've been working with this one great person since for almost a year. And when she first started working with me, she couldn't do a push-up. She's on her knees, she's going down, she's trying to do a push-up, and she's struggling. She banged out 5 strict push-ups the other day, and I was just
right. Well,
that gives you goosebumps.
On behalf of men everywhere, I would just like to say, as a man, I would much rather pop a bicep than get much stronger. I'm just saying, it never happens for me. Never happens for me. But it's which is frustrating, but it is what it is. All right, when we come back, Robin, we're going to give you your magic wand, give you your opportunity to make an impact on the world, and talk more about health and fitness. Okay?
Beautiful.
Cool. Robin Campbell talking Kettlebell Corner, among other things. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Back after the break. Hang out.
The news never stops at WOBMAM.com. Get the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBMAM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Bob Levy Broadcast Center, overlooking the Toms River. It's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Be a part of the show, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. 6:34 a.m. Wednesday, September 14th, 66 degrees, getting up to 89 today. WOBM AM 1160, 1310 News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pop app at WOBMAM.com, 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are joined by Robin Campbell. She is a CPT, SFG, FMS, and RRCA, of course. Nobody
don't know what that means.
Nobody knows what that means. It means that you're like you're really good at like fitness and stuff. So
I have a ton of letters after my name.
that means that you paid a lot for all kinds of trainings. So listen, you should be lauded for that. Tell me the difference. I want to just know, what is high intensity interval workouts? What does that mean?
Sure. So high intensity interval training, or HIIT, which is commonly referred to in the industry, is a type of training where you basically go very intensely for a specified period of time, and then you rest for a specified period of time. And then you go very intensely for a specified period of time, and then you rest. Usually it's like 30 seconds of hard work and then 30 seconds off, or the common one is Tabata, which is 20 seconds hard work, 10 seconds off. And it really speeds up the heart rate for a short period of time.
Cool. What was that one called? Ciabatta?
Tabata.
Oh,
yeah, Tabata.
I thought it was like the bread. That was something different.
No.
And this is like, you're talking like, this is like kind of like CrossFit style, right?
CrossFit style is I wouldn't say that it's all high intensity training. No, CrossFit style is its own more. I would think of it's more of a boot camp style training, but they do use high intensity training quite a bit.
Right, and there's a lot of interval training because it's stations of movement and then stop and then back again.
Absolutely.
And so what is and so when you say endurance training, this pretty much I will say and again, this is me just being honest. I would say there's nothing that sounds more there's nothing that sounds more miserable in my life than somebody who says, let's do some endurance training. So what does that mean?
Well, I mean, and that's why everybody's different. I actually love endurance training. So my base is endurance training. So I'm a marathon runner. I've run several marathons, half marathons, all the rest of it. And running is really my first love. But there's also cycling, swimming, all the rest of it. And I firmly believe that for people to jump into high intensity training without any basis of cardiovascular sustainability through basic endurance is dangerous. Despite your heart rate like that, when you're not used to, having a generally high heart rate for a specified period of time, is really counterproductive to health and wellness. So what I like to do with people on their journey is help them build a base of endurance training. So that would mean, maybe a half an hour on the elliptical, at a time, building up, or going out and running, or biking, and all the rest of it. I believe that there's a marry between all of those methodologies. It's not just one or the other, You have to kind of have your hand in a couple of different, and it's that generalist kind of feel that, I have a good base of endurance, a good base of strength, all of that marries together well, to an overall health and wellness.
Right. Okay. Why don't you, let's do this. Let us give you your magic wand. Okay.
Yay!
Or actually, in your case, it may be the magic kettlebell. And we're going to let you shake that magic kettlebell and do something incredible in the world. So what is it, Robin Campbell, that you would do?
What would I do?
What would you do with your magic kettlebell? If you could change something in the world, make something happen, do something special, without having to worry about, budget or votes or, having to convince people. It just happens. Like you could just buy the world a Coke, although you probably wouldn't do that. You'd buy them a Powerade.
All right. I feel like, if I could buy, you have a magic wand, it's like delicate. A kettlebell is kind of like, you can't like box people with it. That would be dangerous.
No.
But if I had a magic wand, I would probably, I would train all the time. I would help people be motivated. I would help them realize their goals because, a lot of what happens in our industry that is crazy is all these crazy quick challenges that people get into, the 21-day fixes. You've heard about that, I'm sure.
Sure.
All those, the cleanses and all that stuff. And it's just so much fad that if I could do away with all of that crap, that's like this is the get healthy fast track. I would probably throw all of that out because that's not what it's about. Your fitness is a journey, and it's not about the end goal. It's about the steps that you take along the way. I mean, I think for me, one of my most realizing moments of fitness was when I went on vacation to South Dakota a couple years ago. And I realized, because so many people are body-oriented, they want to look better. And it's all about aesthetics. I want to lose weight. I want to look better. I want to look toned. I want, all this stuff. When really, that's just one aspect. Body composition is just one aspect of fitness. So, to be able to go and be able to climb and hike for hours and still be ready to go and not be winded and be able to enjoy and breathe in that air, that's like, to me, a moment of complete wellness, So
right.
I think if I could get rid of all the crap, that people are trying to make a lot of money off of these, like, foot challenges and fads that are out there, and for people that aren't really as educated in fitness, they can kind of be drawn into that, I'd probably do something to, educate people that are about understanding what that really means to be healthy and well. And
right.
It's on, a broad spectrum. That includes mental wellness, to be honest.
Sure. Well, listen.
I'm sure we all know that.
Absolutely. All kidding aside, as someone that, used to run 40 health clubs myself,
Wow.
Yeah, you see, you didn't know that.
Run them or literally run them?
Yes.
Or,
yeah, I used to run all the New York sports clubs in North Jersey and Manhattan.
I belong to the New York Sports Club in Mattawan.
Oh, yes. That's recently do they still have the racquetball courts there?
They do.
Oh, so there you go. See, I just validated that now I know what I'm talking about.
You just crazy with research.
No. So I will tell you, though, that, kettlebell training, whether it's kettlebell swings, whether it's goblet squats, whatever you're doing with kettlebells, kettlebells, in my mind, are absolutely the most, the best tool that you can use. And it doesn't take, one of these tremendous $7,000 home gyms to get it done for you.
It just takes some instruction, and for me, again, in my background, I really gravitated to the kettlebell because you can do both a ballistic power workout,
right.
and that can also do strength, and it's all with really one tool, and it's so versatile. No workout's the same.
It is versatile.
It takes away the boredom.
Absolutely. Robin, we have come to the end. So now it's time for you to take a minute or two for your own personal propaganda.
Yeah.
Where would folks go to check out where you're going to be, your website, your Facebook, et cetera, et cetera?
Sure. So my Facebook page is the Kettlebell Corner, and that's Kettlebell with a K and Corner with a K. So if you go onto that page, you'll see all the updates of things that I'm doing. I do teach classes at Real Gym in Keyport on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Sundays, and I will be adding in more. So you can get all that information on the website. I also coach at a great gym in Colts Neck called Aspire Fitness, where that is a different type of training, but that's also a great gym for people that are living down that way. So I'd say come by and check that out too. And then I will be doing a workshop October 1st on kettlebells, and that will be at Wholetrition, a nutrition and small group training studio in Morganville, and that's also going to be on the page, and that's October 1st. It'll be 2 hours. So if you want to come in and really understand the basics of the swing and the Turkish get-up for the kettlebells and get started on that journey, we'll be doing it that day. And I would say just keep checking out the page for updates as new things are are happening. There is also a kettlebell karma workshop that I'm working on with a friend where we are combining kettlebells and yoga. And we've demoed that once, and we'll be doing more of that throughout the fall. So all those updates will also be on the page. Very exciting stuff going on. So if you like the page and you stick with the updates, you'll see everything that's going on.
Well, there you go. For the record, I have just become your 100th like. Robin Campbell, thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning.
Thank you, Jeremy. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Back with more Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin after this.